Uh,
Okay.
Welcome everyone. Welcome back to Vivid Earth. Today I've got the beloved Honey Sea Golden back. We were supposed to do an episode last week with our dear Richard, and I just couldn't do it. I thought I was healed, and then I wasn't. So I had to cancel it, and Richard is booked for the next couple of weeks. So Honey and I decided to do this week, and it's been about time we catch up, Honey. How's things going?
Yeah. Everything for me is good. It's definitely discombobulating. There's a lot of energetic shifts going on, and it's almost like every single day there's a new shift. So that's been really interesting. And people are like, "What's happening? What's happening?" I'm getting a lot of messages like that. Did we shift? What's going on? So
Mhm.
it's wild for sure.
It's definitely wild. The energies have been totally out of control, if you will. And then you've got the odd person saying to you, I don't feel anything. I don't see anything. um, and sometimes it's, difficult to say to such a person, but I guess some of us are more in tune with the currents and the energies, and we can feel it even before it's visible. We can feel it coming, and we can almost anticipate it sometimes. It's kind of that nervous energy. You feel like these big waves are coming, but it's not quite here yet. So there's nothing to physically tie onto, to tie your awareness onto, but you can feel something is up, right?
Yeah, and also sometimes it's us creating it. So we have to remember that we're in a game and the game is about learning. So what are we doing at night? What are we doing when we're not in this body? And a lot of what we're doing is planning and creating more chaos for learning. So what's going on right now is we're receiving new codes. So we're getting new codes, original codes from Atlas, the being. And Atlas, the spaceship, is a whole nother scenario, but the being is healed and he's bringing original codes back to us. And that's a big deal, but it means you have to let go of the codes that don't jive with that anymore. So I don't think we think of our body as an organic computer very often, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
And when we allow ourselves to think that way, then we realize, okay, so programming that I don't need or that's holding me back is moving out of my body, and programming that will increase my awareness, help my DNA, like maybe I'll know how to use my new DNA that's now activated, those kind of things. That's what's happening now. So people are tapped into the astral plane more. They're having a lot more dreams. They're seeing more ETs. They're interacting with other beings. And this is part of the gift that is, what Atlas is doing. And it depends on how much programming you're letting go of. And sometimes we've had more of it and it's making us sick to let go of it because there's all these avenues out of the body. So think of it that way. Like, so this is really kind of gross, but mucus is an avenue out of the body. Going to the bathroom a lot is an avenue out of the body. Crying is an avenue out of the body. So any kind of excretion out of the body is letting go of programming that you don't need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially because I think a lot of these programs are held in our bodily waters, right? Because
Yeah.
water holds memory, it holds information. So these old programs are probably sitting in your water. So if you are getting sick and you are just, sneezing a lot or, excreting a lot of fluids, you know, that's it. I know for me, I've been sick and I was just like, how much can there be in my lungs? Seriously. It just keeps
I know,
coming.
but as soon as you let some out, then more gets created to let more of the programming out. So That's a lot of what it is. Or it could be something that you're not letting go of, like you're trying to hang on to. So for some people, that was like sorrow to do with the lungs. But a lot of people are having mucus that's coming from the head, and
Mm,
then it's getting into the lungs, and then you have to get rid of it because, you go to sleep and the mucus goes in places where you don't want it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So a lot of people have been sick, doing a lot of purging again. I felt almost as if, it was like Saturday. I remember Saturday the 25th, and I remember this portal where this deep space objects, the Shapley attractor was aligned with Atlas, and I was just like literally setting intentions and soaking in the codes. And that very evening, my throat started getting sore, and I was like, okay, well, I asked for it, so what can I
You
say
did.
about it?
You asked Atlas the being to give you those codes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were like, okay, it's a lot, but you asked.
Here you go.
Here you go. Um, so yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't that much fun, but it just also kind of slowed me down a little bit, which I think was important. And I remember when I was on the grass, just sitting and soaking up the sun codes, um, I started falling asleep, and I just like floating in and out of sleep almost. I went into this weird zone.
Yeah.
And I've heard other people talk about that as well. Like they were just like in this weird kind of zone where they're just floating in and out of different realities and dimensions. So I think there's a lot that was transmitted during this time.
Oh, yeah. Tons.
Yeah.
And Atlas has, the being hasn't stopped. Like he is transmitting 24/7. So it doesn't matter whether you're in the sun or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sun is transmitting a lot of what the ETs are helping with, but also what the souls are helping with. So think of it as everybody's helping with what's going on with the sun, and Atlas is just transmitting 24/7 to give us back the original codes.
Yeah. And so this was actually this past Saturday when Atlas was at its perihelion, its closest distance to the
Mhm.
sun as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely these intense portals where we can download information and codes and wisdom, which you're not always consciously aware of initially. You may feel a shift, you may feel something is different, but it'll take time to integrate and fully land in a way that you can actually feel, see, and interpret it. So I think we have to remember that. It's not like bing in that moment, it's there. It'll take time to integrate.
It does. And humanity's been shown to know about 95% or not know about 95% of reality. So
Yeah.
5%, with all of our senses, we perceive about 5%
Yeah.
of reality. And if you think about it, I shared a really cool ET video on Telegram today, and it was AI, but ETs, when they come to you, they are hyper like clear. I don't know how to say it, like hyper 3D, hyper just amazing looking.
Love it.
And when you look at that video, they're even clearer than what the AI video shows. And that's pretty hyper realistic as well. So
Mm.
they're amazing, but you have to get into that zone that you were in. Usually it's you wake up in the middle of the night and there's an ET in your room. And then the the inner child, which is our human side, flips out and it's like, "What are you doing?" So that's what's shifting right now too, because humanity used to walk among all the ETs, among the giants. We were part of the whole thing. And we have to get back to that point at some point, and that's what we're being helped with right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think when we are going to be visually perceiving information beyond the 5%, it's going to be so vivid. There's going to be colors that we've never seen before. There's going to be
Mm.
this iridescence to the light that we've never seen before. It's just going to be totally different. It's not going to be this flat, kind of harsh visual reality that we currently have. It's going to be exquisite. And I kind of have faint memories of that. And many people do, you know, when there's more of that visual spectrum available to us to perceive.
Yeah, and that's what's starting to shift. Sometimes you can see it through your phone, I've noticed more often. Like my phone was able to capture a lot of that a couple
Mm,
of years ago. And
yeah.
it's like you allow your technology to see beyond what you see. And now it's more like we are going to start to see that way.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on something. A lot of people are saying, why is it all taking so long? I'm tired. I can't do this anymore. It's just all taking so long. They told us 3 years ago that there would be an RV and, all of this disclosure and arrests, and it's still not happening. And I always have to tell people all these things have a purpose, number one. And number two, we decide how long it takes. So I hate to say it, but we are the ones that either slow it down or speed it up. But I wanted to get your take on that as well, just to kind of give people some comfort and perspective on why it's all taking so long.
Yeah, I think just the words. So words are 100 times more powerful than thought. And your thoughts and your words make a huge difference. And you're reprogramming your subconscious to say it's taking a long time. And I'm waiting. And I feel miserable while I'm waiting. All those kind of things. Like, I'm going to go back now and just deprogram that out of my subconscious, all those things that I just said, because we choose and the collective chooses. So if you can work on your own programming, you're going to help the collective programming let go faster.
Mm,
And really, right now, the biggest thing that's coming through is that the human side of us, which is why we're here. So, the human soul that is learning from us, the big soul, it's time for them to become free and sovereign. And they have to say, I'm free. I'm done. I'm ready to be free and I'm going to act like I'm free.
hmm. Yeah.
So, we're basically at that point right now, and humanity's being pushed to like do something about it. Whether that means speaking it out or it means doing something that, like, maybe you don't agree with something that just happened. Maybe you got a tax letter in the mail.
Hmm.
What do you do with that? Right? Do you engage with it? Or do you say, this is not my reality? What do you actually do with it? What makes you feel free within yourself with each situation that comes up?
Mm. I feel
Yeah,
this is like the advanced class now of Earth School, where
it
we have to
is.
learn how we create reality. And it's like you will keep on learning it until you pass this particular subject. So
Yeah.
keep learning, because we have to understand and understand how we actually create our own reality. And people just don't. They kind of hear it and they say, "Yeah, I know that," but then they don't believe it, and they still believe there's something outside controlling their reality. And I know there's a collective reality and a personal reality, but where those people underestimate their own power and their ability to influence the collective, I say, but surely I can't make a difference. Whatever I think and feel and see and say can't make a difference, but yet it
Yeah.
is making a difference.
Yeah, and that's because the ego of the inner child or the human side of you says, ooh, that's scary. I don't want to believe that I'm that powerful. I've been told that I'm not. So it's that program that we're breaking right now. That's the program. And I think a lot of us that have broken it, we're talking about it all the time. You're so powerful. You have no idea how powerful you are. And that's what a lot of the manifesting teachers in the past would tell people. And probably 1% of those people that would go to a seminar in the past, they would make it through it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Joe Dispenza would probably be more of the exception because he was backing it up with more information about science.
The
So, and
science
he
of it.
was also creating a certain energy when he'd bring people in, and it was more for healing than for money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I do believe that the whole law of attraction thing was kind of infiltrated and fell
Oh,
short
yeah.
of what it really was about. And I keep telling people it's not about attracting things to you, it's actually about what you're projecting outwards, because you are creating your reality. That particle doesn't collapse into a wave until it's observed by you and how you're observing it.
Yeah.
So, and it's a very difficult concept for people to grasp. But unfortunately, it's part of passing this Earth school. We have to get it, you know?
We have to get it. And we have to let go of the 3D in order to create in the 5D. So right now we're letting go of the 3D. And I mean, if you're thinking about the RV, we are responsible for allowing the 3D to fall. We have to let it fall and quit looking at it and stressing about it.
Yeah,
When you stress about it, you're giving it energy to continue.
yeah,
And a lot of people are doing that because they're looking at their situation and they're not believing that they can attract something else to help their
mhm,
situation now to continue to be fine because the universe is abundant.
yeah.
The universe
There's
will
no lack.
provide you with whatever you need.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yep.
such a difficult, people would say, well, it's all good and well for you to say that, but uh, I'm a pensioner or I'm living on benefits, and you don't know what it's like, and this, that, and the other. And how can people, what is the quickest way people can snap out of that reality? Because there's real a real situation, like they need to put
Mhm.
food on the table, they need to get what they need to survive. At the same time, they've got to flip the script and change
Yeah.
how they you know create and perceive and live this reality, and let go of the old programming that's
Mhm.
limiting them.
I would say two things: being grateful for what you have,
Hmm.
and then also thinking about what kind of gifts you actually have and start writing them down. I'm great at, creating amazing food for people. I'm great at doing, I don't know, maybe you're a great inspiration to others when it comes to exercise. Maybe you're great at creating a garden. Maybe you're a beautiful painter. Maybe, whatever it is. Maybe you have horses and you're great with animals. Start writing down what you're talented with and get out of thinking how small you are
Hmm.
because dependence on the government is a psyop.
Yeah.
So letting go of that is really important. I mean, we are going to be more and more and more sovereign. So it's time to start doing some of that now.
Yeah.
And it is scary for people when they do that. I mean, money was always a issue with my parents. Okay, I grew up with hardly any money. We grew up in a hippie community. we had an outhouse. Okay. All my clothes came from the Goodwill as a kid. Now I felt abundant. I had plenty of food. I was happy and I had more freedom than most. So, what part of that experience should I be focusing on?
Mm.
And none of those things apply to my life now. Like I have a real bathroom now, those kind of things. I'm not doing the same thing that they were doing. So ask yourself, have I broken free from my childhood stuff, my childhood programming?
Because that
Am I
often that's
still
inherited
living?
from the parents, like you say.
Yeah, am I still
They live
living
in
that?
lack, so that programming goes into you.
Yeah. So I had to clear a lot of trauma. I had to clear a lot of programming. And I honestly did that in my late 40s. And guess what? I don't think about any of that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
So, and it's work. It takes work to go inside yourself and say, I'm not going to do this anymore. So, what do I have to heal? And who do I need to forgive and stop blaming?
Hmm.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. I think gratitude is big. If people think their
Mhm.
lives are miserable and they just getting by, come to Africa and see how people live here, on how little they live, literally in a shack. And the thing is, there's some of those people are very happy and they're also grateful for what they have. And when we realize material things are not all it's cracked up to be, material things is not what makes us abundant or not, but it will naturally shape around you. Your material reality will shape around you if you feel abundant. And that's just a byproduct of being grateful and feeling like you have everything that you need. Your needs are met. You have everything that you need. There's nothing that you could want for. Um, yeah, so that's a big one. And I think it's an important lesson for people to learn before a RV or a wealth redistribution can happen. Because if people are not ready mentally, they're just gonna, I don't know, it's gonna be a little bit of a mess, you know. People
Yeah.
have to learn some of these lessons before we can be abundant in this way.
Well, and it'll be wasted. Like a lot of it would be wasted. And that's why I think the straw man will be distributed in a different way. And the Zim, like if you are going to do a project, it will be dependent on your consciousness, how much money you actually have for those projects that you do.
Mm,
Because you want to be as clear as possible. You want to have let go of hierarchy and you want to realize that you're free. And you don't want to think that I need a yacht, a Maserati, or maybe 10 of them. I need 20 houses. You know, the way of living as a 3D elite is not the way that we're going to be living in the future. If you're doing projects, I mean, yes, yes, you will have a beautiful home. Yes, you may have more than one, and maybe you share some of them with other people when you're not in them.
yeah,
And yes, you'll have a nice, comfortable car, or some sort of transportation, whatever it ends up being, as we go into the future. But worrying about all the things that you need in the physical, that's not going to bring in, I mean, money eventually won't even matter.
yeah,
And that's not the focus of what we're
yeah.
doing next.
And it's
Yeah.
certainly not going to make people happy. If somebody's unfulfilled or they're not happy, no amount of money or material things in the world is going to make them happy. And you can see that so many times with the rich and famous. They just acquire more and more and more, and they actually get more and more unhappy. So it's got nothing to do with happiness. But if you're feeling grateful, content, fulfilled, like there's no lack, that you are abundant, it will naturally come to you, and you will not have that attachment to it. It's not like you need this to be happy. Yeah, it's great to have, nice things, comfortable transport, and all of these things around you, but it's not going to define you, and it's not going to make you happy. And that's, the way we need to live in the future. Otherwise, it's like the guy that once wins the lottery, like 1 year later, he's bankrupt again, you know?
Yeah.
So we've got to learn to be grateful for what we have, and that we are abundant, and that we create our own reality. Um, and that, material things are not that important. No need to be attached to them, you know?
No. We don't take it with us. So remember, everything's made out of light and plasma and frequency.
Yeah.
So you don't take these physical things with you when you leave this experiment that we're in,
Yeah.
which is a learning school. You don't take it. So enjoy your moments. That's all we really have, is the moment that we're in, and enjoying them. It's so important. Like, you guys are worth it. You're worthy of happiness. And that's been my message. My higher self's been more pushy about it the last probably few weeks. And I think that has to do with Atlas too, because it's time for us to claim our sovereignty. It's time for us to remember who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And that means your inner child. That means the human part of you. It's time for them to start shining and enjoy themselves, because they've been suppressed for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not here to keep them suppressed. We're here to show them the way.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
is an embodied ascension. We're not going anywhere. We're not escaping anything. We are anchoring in the new earth, this new
Yeah.
reality, our new multidimensional self within this body, within this experience. And that is the trick. That is what we came here to do. And it's part of the self mastery that we signed up for. Um,
Yeah.
Otherwise, we
And
would
it's
have
the
been,
first time we've done this in a body.
yeah. Otherwise, we could have come here to help in the form of an angel. You could have come here as an angel and help the collective, and, be the support, protection. But you chose to come into a body because you wanted to master this physical experience. It's an experience that your soul wanted to have. Nothing that happens to you is by accident. You chose the blueprint. You chose exactly every single detail of the blueprint. Yes, there's segues depending on what decisions you make, but the basic blueprint stays in place, and you've chosen that. You came here to master that. So sovereignty means accepting that, and accepting self responsibility for everything in your life. And that also means you stop blaming the people outside of you, including the cabal and the government and all these people that we've love to blame for our circumstances. But it's just taking accountability and say, okay, I'm in charge from here on. I'm going to be responsible. That means I'm not complaining anymore. I'm not going to be the victim, because I can't be sovereign and a victim at the same time. Like, pick a side, you know.
Yeah.
I'd far rather be sovereign than a victim. Thank you very much. That's just a loop that's not going to end. And that's a thing that a lot of people have to realize. And it's just a program. Once you see it and you observe it for what it is, you become aware of it. And yes, sometimes it'll come back, it will snap back, but you'll be like, okay, I see you. I see what's happening here. We're going to do things differently. And that is mastering the human experience, self mastery.
Yeah, exactly. Self-mastery, and also letting go of thinking that everyone is going to do things in the same way. That's been
Yeah.
another program that really gets to people. Maybe someone's not ready to wake up. Maybe they're
Yeah.
not meant to wake up. Maybe they're not really here. Maybe they're a reflection of something that you're creating.
Mm-hmm.
So, remembering that when we're in a push and pull with someone, a lot of times you're in a push and pull with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking about, what am I learning from this? What is this teaching me, this situation that I'm in? Because a lot of people are in situations that they're working on right now. And that's big. That's really big for humanity, is working through the trauma that is continuing the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also that, the ego, it's also the ego. And, sometimes the ego can be quite fragile.
Mhm.
And the thing is that you need to make it feel safe enough that it won't uh, manipulate your everyday anymore. So it's just recognizing that, and just really looking at each situation, saying, what can I learn from this? Instead of blaming the other person, say, oh, they're such a narcissist. It's like, well, what am I supposed to learn from this? Because you won't have that experience unless you're meant to learn from it. So if you can ask yourself that question in every difficult situation, the answer will come eventually.
Yeah. And that's a big one that's coming up right now, the narcissist and the empath. And letting go of blaming them, because they're the ones who are helping you learn how to be more aware as an
Exactly.
empath. Yeah.
They actually
And
came
thanking
in to
them.
do that to you. They
Yeah.
took on it's not an easy job to make that agreement to say, okay, I'm going to be the narcissist and I'm going to keep triggering you until you realize and you put the boundaries down and you say no. That's not an easy thing to come in as. But if you
No.
realize that there's something in there for you to learn, it flips the situation around.
A lot of the narcissists aren't even here anymore. You're just keeping them going for your own
Mhm.
learning.
Yeah.
So that's an even harder concept. Like, if you have a narcissist in your life and you haven't either extricated yourself and stood up for yourself, or, you know, learned whatever it is that you wanted to learn from them, and you're still blaming them, ask yourself, are they really here? Or am I creating them for this lesson? And that's been a really hard one for people. Sometimes right now, because we're really far along at this point, even though we don't see all the things and know all the things and have all the changes in place yet, we're quite far along in the ascension process. So ask yourself, use your pendulum. Is this person really even here? Or am I creating them to continue the lesson? Do I need to keep the lesson going?
Hmm.
Yeah.
The moment you say, I get it, it doesn't need to continue.
Mm.
Now, I often think about it. How many different parallel experiences are there? So, in your particular parallel experience now, this person seems to be an antagonist in your life. But maybe in another version, in another timeline, you have a very loving relationship with them. So it's a really difficult one to kind of wrap your head around, right? How much of this are you creating, and how many different versions of this life is there that you could actually choose from?
So many, so many. And we've healed a lot of them. And we are coming back into a singularity, the oneness. But we are in the, I mean, a person who is an empath in this life could be the narcissist in another. And maybe that's the
Sorry,
shadow that
something
has to
is
come back. Can you hear me?
sorry, something was playing in the background. I don't know what,
Oh,
something just started playing. Anyway,
oh, okay.
I'm back.
Yeah. So, I mean, think about what source actually is. What is God's source? What is it? It's a body, it's a being, it's a beautiful, enormous being, and we are in there playing in the water of that being. So, that collective memory, those waves go out into the being, and we're choosing all kinds of different things. So, and that's a big concept too, but parallels and choices are infinite. Every single
Yeah,
choice we make shifts something else. Were
absolutely.
you able to
Sorry,
get
just
it?
I just had another call come through. I don't know what's going on.
Oh,
Anyway, it's
that's
good now.
funny. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is it's such an interesting time. And while we're in this kind of almost waiting mode, we are meant to figure all these things out. There's no shortcuts to this ascension. You got to go through the motions. And yes, at some point there will be a big push and there will be assistance that kind of pushes over the line. But right now, there's still work to do. And I know people don't like hearing that, but we're in the last stretch. People just need to really understand and understand that they've come this far. We've literally come so far. We're on the final stretch of this ascension process in this battle on earth. And it's actually a magnificent time to be alive.
Hmm.
If you can flip your perspective a little bit.
It really is. And the only battle that's really going on is within ourselves. So there's not much of a battle going on except for your own shadows, the programming that you're letting go of, the pain that you're letting go of. And we're all doing it, you know. I still have some physical things that I'm working on. I'm not letting go of as much like sickness, like as much programming as I was, but I think also that my body's getting used to letting go of it in different ways. And I'm supporting my body in a different way too. The body's really important right now. The body is your antenna. So it's not just the pineal gland and your brain anymore. It's the whole body
Hmm.
is becoming an antenna. And it's your spaceship for this experience on planet Earth.
Hmm. And to
So,
hold more light, it's gotta it's gotta be in tip-top shape, basically. So that's why we are
yeah.
getting, also the other physical experiences like headaches, ringing in the ear, aches and pains. It's just your body recalibrating, readjusting, because every time more light codes come in, there's something that needs to move out a little bit. So it's an ongoing process. We just had an X point 1.1 flare come in, an X flare today, or yesterday. So it continues to push, and I think it's just going to be increasing. We get a break every couple of days, and then it just bang, the next one comes in. And definitely Atlas and the other comets are adding to this. So we just have to flow through it and try and make your life as easy as possible as you can right now. So you can give your body the support it needs, so you don't fight through this, experience like it's an uphill battle. Just, take the rest when you need it. Our body does tend to, need a lot of rest right now, and
It
it's
really
going through the
does.
most. It really is going
Mhm.
through the most. So
It
just be
is. It's
kind.
going through the most. It's a major reprogramming event that we're in.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And we wouldn't want it any other way. I mean, do you really want to continue to live in the 3D? Do
Yeah.
you really want to keep recreating that? I don't. I want to live in the 5D. I remember the 5D. And the
Mm-hmm.
5D is what we're in right now. And that's why we're able to let the 3D fall in a much easier way. So let it happen. A lot of our ideas are meant to control so that we feel safe. Control the situation, control your life, control, your relationships. And that's what we're letting go of. And we're basically at the point, for some people, they're at the surrender point. They're in the dark night of the soul. And some people have already gone through the dark night of the soul.
Mm.
So it just depends on where you're at in your own evolution. And all of it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So
It's all going to make sense in the end. Hey, whatever doesn't make sense to you right now, you're going to look back at this and say, oh, that's why I needed to go through that. So just trust that everything has meaning, everything happens in a divinely guided way, and we're all going to get there. This is not a competition, it's not a race. We're all going through this ascension in a very different way because we have a unique blueprint. You're not doing worse because you're not experiencing what somebody else is going through. You chose a unique blueprint for your soul's learning. So honor that, we're all going to get there, literally, um, in our own unique way.
We are. It's a beautiful time to be alive. And there's really nothing to be afraid of. It's just surrendering the old and having faith that the new is being created and you're part of the creation.
Yeah.
You create everything that you see in your life, or you create it with someone else as a co-creation. So you're in on all of it.
Yeah.
So there's nobody to look at except for who you see in the mirror every day.
Yeah. And we don't always know how things are going to fall into place. You have this vision of what you'd love to create, but you don't need to control every detail of it. That's going to fall in place. And the more you want to control it, the more you're going to slow down. So sometimes just letting go and saying, okay, I've put the vision out there. I know what it is that I want to create, whether it's a humanitarian project or something else. Now I'm just going to hand it over to the universe. And I'm going to let go of the control, because wanting to control every detail, and I need to know that that's there before I let go of this. No, you got to let go. Otherwise, that cup is so full, you can't fill it up any further. Nothing new is going to come into your life. You got to let go of the old before the new will have space to come into your reality.
Yeah, I don't think we look at it that way most of the time. Like, look at those shelves back there. If I moved one of those pots of flowers, then I would have room for something else.
Mm-hmm.
But if I leave that there and I wait for something to arrive and I don't have a place for the pot of flowers, I haven't let go of it, I haven't moved it, then how does that new thing get installed?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Um, well, maybe sort of the last thing we can quickly look at is just looking at the energies of the rest of November and up until the end of the year. Um, I think it's going to be pretty crazy, although perhaps in November we will have some time for pauses in between. How do you see the energies playing out this month and next?
well, this month is all about consciousness. So, really working on yourself this month is a massive, important thing. And if we don't get it done this month, it'll continue into next month. And remembering that the universe could care less about time. Time is a construct that humanity asked for, that the 3D needed. And time is getting more and more relative, I guess you could say. Like sometimes you'll get a tremendous amount done in one day, and sometimes you get almost nothing done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because it's time to go inward or it's time to create from the inside out. So you are going to have a back and forth of that. A lot of people want to know what's going to happen on the outside by the end of the year. And that totally depends on the inside. We've got a lot of time according to the planets, which is the map of the energy, that probably will be through this by April, is what Kelly said, according to the planets.
Yeah.
So we just did that show the other day, and I'll put it below this video, but thinking about what do I need to do for myself to move forward? and ask yourself, what am I allowing to keep myself stuck? What things in my life do I allow to basically perceive them as being stuck? And that could be that you're on public assistance. Um, that could be that you're retired and you have a certain amount of income that comes in. And maybe somebody just being able to talk to you would bring you more income every month. You know, I mean, maybe something you actually love doing would bring you more income every month.
Yeah.
So, not feeling stuck in it is really important. But when a lot of people want to know when's the RV going to happen, and it's all up to us. And I believe that being as sovereign as possible is a massive step for that to happen, because
Yeah.
we have to do that as we create this new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sovereignty is a big one. Self-sovereignty. It's a it's a mental, uh, it's a psychological, a spiritual process that you have to go through. Um, and what I also want to mention is, um, we talk about it, the cup, emptying the cup so that you can receive. And some people believe they know everything and there's nothing new you can teach them. And, they're not open to growth. They're not open to new realities. Like if you think everything I see, I can see everything and there's nothing besides what I can't, what I can see, then you're not gonna see new things. You're not gonna see that iridescence in the air, that 5D light coming through, all the other colors that we can't see now. You won't, because you've decided I'm not gonna see it.
Yeah.
So people need to have an open mind and an open heart for what is coming, and know that there will always be more growth. There's always be more unfolding, and just be open to that. And sometimes you don't have to do so much. Sometimes you can just be in receiving mode and just be open. And I think a world of new possibilities will open up to you in the process.
Yeah. And over the next several months, a lot of things are happening. And you can see them happening. I mean, we've been talking about them for months. There's so much that's been happening this year. And go back and look at all the change that's going on and how much change has actually happened. But a lot of things are important to remember. Like most of the people in the governments, not real anymore, right? So
Yeah.
why do you want to give power to that?
Yeah.
Right? Don't think of them in the same way. Remind yourself they're not real anymore.
Yeah. Stop watching the burning
Yeah.
buildings. Because
So
if you're going to
all of
watch
that
the burning
stuff.
buildings, you're going to look forward and there'll
Yeah.
be nothing in front of you. Rather create the new than watching the
Yeah.
buildings fall in the background. All this drama, all
Yeah.
this sort of movie that is playing itself out. If it's putting you in a low vibe, just cut it out. Don't watch it.
Be grateful for it too. You don't need to watch it, but if you see it, like if it pops up somewhere, or if somebody comes and says, "Oh my God, this is happening. I'm so upset." And you can say, "Oh, I'm so grateful that it's happening now. We've been waiting for this for so long. It's
Mhm.
beautiful. It's finally taking place."
Yeah. There's so
Yeah.
much to be grateful for. Things could have been so different right now.
Mm.
Point is, we're at the cusp of a big shift on this planet,
Yeah.
and nothing can stop what's coming. It's going to be beautiful.
It is. And it's already really getting pretty beautiful now. And really feel that in your body. I mean, that's how you call it in.
Hmm.
When you vibrate on the level where you want to be, then it attracts all the synchronicities that you need to actually get there. So think of it that way, like this is where you want to be and you're vibrating here. Start doing some joyful, happy things so you can vibrate a little higher. And
Hmm.
then the synchronicities will come in that get you to the thing that you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can only be frequency match to what you want to call in. So if you want to call in a beautiful future, you've got to be a future frequency match. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's not going to come near you. The universe and energy really is very neutral. It doesn't judge, it doesn't have emotions. It just gives you what you resonate with. That's it. You choose. So, what is the frequency you choose? So, we'll leave people with that. Any last
Yeah.
thoughts you want to share?
Just love yourself. You're so loved by the universe. This is such a big thing. And as individuals, I mean, we are part of God's source at all times. And just remembering that and remember how special you are and how important you are to this project, basically, that we're doing. You could
Mm-hmm.
call it Project Earth. None of you guys are small. You're all beautiful, big souls, and you have a lot to contribute. So, thinking about that and thinking about your bigness and also letting go of hierarchy and thinking that someone else has more power than you do, start
Mm-hmm.
letting go of that. We're all equal, we all have consciousness, and we all matter. So, just love yourself and things will start to shift.
Yeah, very
Mhm.
well said. Couldn't agree more.
Thank you, Anina.
Well, that was an awesome conversation. Thank you, honey. Everyone, I'll leave the links below, honey's links, my links. So make sure you share and subscribe. And we look forward to walking this journey with you. And it's going to be a beautiful couple of months ahead. So just enjoy it. Enjoy every moment.
Yes.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Bye.